So today I want to give takeaways from the Week 4 AP Top 25 rankings and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today I want to give takeaways from Week 4 of the Associated Press Top 25 rankings. I don't know why I flubbed that word, but check it. I got these takes, and I understand that some of you don't like rankings, but if you don't like rankings, why are you even watching this video? All right. Number 1, Clemson throttled Syracuse 41-6. The thing about that bothers me isn't that they beat down Syracuse and beat them like they stole something. It's that Trevor Lawrence still threw 2 picks, which means he's got as many touchdown passes as he does interceptions. Perhaps you're one of the people that doesn't think this is a big deal, but after, 3 weeks of football, I would expect this dude to have it down. And throwing 2 picks against that team, I don't get it. All right. Alabama, Tua Tagovailoa had one of the best games of his life, 444 yards through the air, 5 touchdowns. Alabama's going to Alabama. We just want to know if they're going to get tested. Perhaps they will in the SEC championship game because we all expect Georgia to be there. Who's at number 3? Man, first, shout out to Georgia fans wearing pink to their own home game for Blake Anderson's late wife, Wendy. I did a segment on it on my radio show, RJ Young Show, on the Sports Animal, 97.1 FM locally in Tulsa. You can stream it online. There's a link in the description below. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. weekdays. Look, I want Arkansas State to be really good, and I think they could be really good, but going up against that Georgia team that can go too deep across the board without a problem, that can throw James Cook at you, that can go throw DeAndre Swift at you, that can let Dominic Blaylock go to work on you, Demetrius Robertson, you could just keep going. Jake Fromm is in the magic year of his season, 3rd year as a starter. He understands the offense. It's just humming right along over there. I really like what they're doing. I think James Coley's going to put them in position to probably knock off Alabama, we think, maybe LSU, we'll see, for the SEC title game, get them back in the college football playoff. At number 4, LSU did nothing to prove that they don't deserve that ranking after their big win against Texas on the road, a top 10 team at the time. They followed it up with a 65-14 throttling of Northwestern State. Joe Burrow continues to put his name into the Heisman conversation. He had 373 yards passing, threw a pick, but hey, look, we'll take 20 of 24 every single day of the week. Big win for them as they continue to roll through their schedule. Number 5, Oklahoma. Jalen Hurts, 439 yards of offense, 600 yards of offense for Oklahoma on the whole. 3rd straight game at 600 yards or more, 300 yards rushing at a minimum. Jalen Hurts is leading statistical categories for all the Heisman contending quarterbacks. 1,253 yards of offense, 13 touchdowns. He still has scored more touchdowns, 13, than he has thrown incompletions this season. 12. Ridiculous. And you know what? The defense is coming along. 4 takeaways in the last 2 games. 5 takeaways in the last 2 games. 4 interceptions. That's what I want to get to. 2 picks against UCLA. 2 picks against South Dakota. Whatever you want to take from that. Oklahoma sitting pretty in the Big 12. Ohio State at number 6. 51-10. Beat down of Indiana. Didn't see a great Justin Fields. Did see a bad Justin Fields. 14-24, we'll take that. That's okay. Their defense is stellar. People are forgetting that. They've given up all of 10 points in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, Ohio State is going to be there at the end, I think. Notre Dame at 7. Really? New Mexico? Okay, fine. Whatever. They're going to get Georgia in Athens. I'm going to that game. I'm going to be... Yes! I'm in the, man, more about that, but yeah, I get to go and be there, present for that game, on the field for that game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Never been to Athens for a game. So excited to go. So excited to see Georgia and Notre Dame play. Number 3 versus number 7 at 7 o'clock. CBS used their primetime spot for that. I'm so excited about that game. We'll see Notre Dame probably get exposed. All right, probably. But I think that they got some dudes out there. I think that if they have injuries that they can come back from, they'll be okay. But I just don't think that Ian Book is going to be enough to get you over the top against this Georgia team that everybody thinks is really good, including myself. Number 8, Auburn. Cool. Kent State. Moving on. Number 9, Florida. Look, I picked Kentucky to cover, and they did. It was +8, which is a funky line in Lexington. And the starting Sawyer Smith, I thought, was not that big a deal. I thought it was kind of a 1-for-1 for Terry Wilson. was pretty good at Troy, 5-2 as a starter, grad transfer. Did okay, but when Felipe Franks goes down with a dislocated ankle, everybody's got to believe that this is Kentucky's to lose, right? Kyle Trask comes in, does a job, showed why he stuck it out at Florida. Fun fact, he backed up De'Aaron King at Manvel and got the Power 5 offer for quarterback before De'Aaron King did. It's actually kind of funny. But Kyle Trask is now the number 1 guy at Florida. We're going to see what that means going forward. We'll see if they can keep that ranking at number 9. Number 10, Utah, best team in the Pac-12. They're balanced. They play great defense. I love Tyler Huntley. I love Zach Moss. I really enjoy watching that defensive line play, which might be the deepest west of the Mississippi. Well, not west of the Mississippi. West of LSU. And then we'll see. I think they absolutely are going to be there at the end, although I'm not putting them in the college football playoff like some of y'all. Some of y'all are psychos. Michigan at 11, the softest 11 that I've seen in some time. I don't believe in Michigan after what I saw against Army. I don't know that they have an answer at quarterback. We thought Shea Patterson was going to be that guy. He has not shown up to be that guy. Dylan McCaffrey might get them where they need to go with Josh Gaddis and this offense that they want to run. But you got to get Tariq Black going. You got to maybe see Peoples-Jones a little bit more often, if at all. Lavert Hill, I think, is outstanding. I want to see more of my man, Dax Hill, get out there. I understand that he's a freshman, but he's a phenomenal freshman. You need to get him on the field. I don't expect Michigan to be here at the end. Maybe Notre Dame gives them a run, but we'll see what Notre Dame looks like after this Georgia game. Number 12, Texas beat Rice like they stole something, 41-13. It was telling that they didn't get off the throttle. There was a 97-yard kick return for a touchdown late at a time when most folks on kickoff are like, look, we're up big. Why are we going to go hard? They went hard enough to get the kickoff return. They're showing what they're made of. Sam Ehlinger looked good, 279 yards passing. I think they're going to be right there waiting on Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. Promises to be a good game if they can keep up their end against Oklahoma State this weekend, who is undefeated. Get more on them later. Penn State at 3. I'm not really, or 13, 3-0. I'm not really sold on what they could be or what they are. I get that you like what you have at running back, and who wouldn't? But outside of that, I'm not sold on what you could do at quarterback. I like the defense. I like the linebackers on the defense, but we'll see. Well, I right now, 13 I think is a little high for Penn State. Wisconsin on a bye. They still haven't given up a point, which is remarkable. And, you get Wisconsin, Michigan. I'm excited about that game, or I think you get Wisconsin, Michigan. Now I got to go and check my math because I don't want to be the guy talking about Wisconsin playing Michigan if they don't play Michigan. And we'll see what that means for them. But Jonathan Taylor is obviously one of the non-quarterbacks in the Heisman conversation. He's also been outstanding catching passes out of the backfield. And we all expect him to be there at the end because all Paul Chris is going to do is keep feeding him the rock. Jack Cohn passed for 300 yards. They do get Michigan. See, RJ, you're on it. 11 a.m., September 21. That's the Saturday. That's going to be a big game. So you get a ranked game in the Big Ten. 11 versus 13. 11 versus 13. So there was a tie. Penn State and Wisconsin. I'm excited about what I could get to see out of Jack Cohn at quarterback. Number 15, Central Florida. I had them maybe rated above Wisconsin and Penn State because they dismantled Stanford with Dylan Gabriel at quarterback, man. They're a juggernaut right now in the group of 6. Some people want to call it Power 6. Stop perpetuating that lie. But Central Florida is no lie. Central Florida wants anybody that you want to put in front of them, and they are going to be barking. They are undefeated at the end, and they're not in the college football playoff. Need I say more about needing to go to an 18, 16-team playoff? Come on, man. Central Florida should have an opportunity to get their heads beat in, just like Oklahoma got its heads beat in the Orange Bowl. All right? If they're there at the end, they're there at the end. I like what they're able to do. Tempo. They'll go fast. Josh Heupel is doing the doggone thing. Oregon, 2-1. They beat the hell out of Montana. I was actually watching that game late last night. It was a lot of fun. Justin Herbert continues to show what he's made of. We'll see if they can challenge Utah in the Pac-12 championship. I hope both of those teams are there at the end. But, Washington State might have something to say about that, as well as you would hope Washington, but we'll see. Texas A&M, 2-1. We know that the loss was to Clemson. I know that Texas A&M feels some kind of way about it, but you got LSU left on the schedule to show us what you're about. You also have a really tough schedule If you go with the one loss toward the end and you manage to get into the SEC championship and you manage to win an SEC title, nobody's going to keep you out of the college football playoff, Aggies. Iowa, 18-17 win against Iowa State, a team I thought was going to beat Iowa. We had the rain delay. They started play, and then at the end, the most Iowa State way to lose a football game ever. You get the punt. There's about a minute left to play, and you got a gunner that runs into your punt returner. Needless to say, Iowa recovers the ball. They win the game by a point. Goodness, man. Iowa's undefeated, but barely. Washington State 3-0 after a really good showing in NRG Stadium against Houston. Mike Leach beat his protege, Dana Holgorsen, in his first year at Houston. De'Aaron King still hasn't really thrown the ball very well. We all thought that he'd be pretty good this year, but he just hasn't found his rhythm in the passing game, though he has looked good when he's been taken off to run it. But Anthony Gordon leads all the major quarterbacks in total yardage. He's throwing passes. He's throwing touchdowns. He's getting nice play out of Borghi. He's getting nice play out of Patton. He's getting nice play all around on the offense. And you know what? Their defense is not a liability. Maybe the Apple Cup finishes a little differently this year. Boise State still undefeated at 3-0. Their big win, obviously, was Florida State on the road. But Florida State is being exposed here of late, which we're going to get into. But now that you're looking at what Boise State might be able to do, again, another group of 6 team that might be there at the end that has an opportunity to go undefeated. Wouldn't it be just awful if Boise State and Central Florida both went undefeated this season and didn't make the college football playoff, and also would prove the point that we've been making for some time. Number 21, Virginia, needed 21 points in the fourth quarter to get a win against Florida State at home. It's not a really good look for Bronco Mendenhall, but again, he got the W, and now they look like the surefire division winner that's going to face Clemson in the in the ACC championship game. Man, I tried to put Virginia in the national championship game just a second ago. Hey, they're undefeated. Maybe it happens. I doubt it happens. Bryce Perkins, we'll see, man. He kind of gives me the willies at quarterback, but he's what you got. And I understand that it's not necessarily a loaded division that they're in. You're talking about the next best thing being what? Like North Carolina? Saw Georgia Tech in that division. They got drugged by Citadel. All right. So Citadel beats you down and takes $400,000 out of your pocket. Yeesh. Then number 22, Washington. They got the loss to Cal. And this is where I'm really going to get pissy because Cal's ranked at number 23 and they're undefeated. You beat Washington. You beat them 20-19 in their place of business. What? Like, why is this rank? Who's watching these games? Give me an AP vote, man, because I actually give a damn. And seeing Cal ranked behind Washington when you know that the only loss on Washington's record is to Cal, and Cal is undefeated, what are we doing? What are we doing? Give Justin Wilcox and his boys credit. They deserve to be there at 22, not 23. Put Washington behind them if you must. Arizona State also could be ranked higher. Big win against Michigan State, although it was controversial because, they tried to jump over and block the kick, which is illegal, which means that Michigan State should have had an opportunity to re-kick, try to tie the game late. Mark D'Antonio was actually just pissed, and I don't blame him because, all day long you're watching Fox if you're watching UCLA and Oklahoma and you're watching the lead up to it, and Urban Meyer's sick to his stomach for Mark D'Antonio because he said he's been there, and you can only understand when games matter this much and wins and losses do matter as much as they do in college football. Goodness me. And Herm Edwards and Arizona State are 3-0 with a true freshman at quarterback. Benjamin obviously doing some work back there. But shout out to Jaden Daniels, who is showing that he can make plays and is a playmaker. Man, this true freshman quarterback class is actually pretty doggone stout. And then at number 25 is Texas Christian. Texas Christian is there because they beat up on the Purdue Boilermakers. Lost Elijah Sandelar to concussion protocol. Lost Marcus Bailey to the season, which I know one of my favorite follows on the Twitters, Boilermakers forever. He was sick to his stomach about it. He was a do-everything linebacker for them, and TCU took advantage. They played great defense, and they ran the ball. Darius Anderson and Sewu Alanalua got it. Both rushed for 100 yards. I think Darius Anderson had 179 on the ground. We know that Gary Patterson's defense is always going to be one of the best defenses in the country. Max Duggan didn't lose him a football game, and I think that's going to be his task as a true freshman quarterback this year. Don't lose the defense football games. They're going to be there at the end if they can just hold this ship together. Teams receiving votes. Kansas State beat up on Mississippi State in Starkville. That was a wild one. I picked the Purple Cats to go down there and get a win. I didn't know it was going to be the turnover fest that it was. I didn't know there was going to be so many ups and downs. But shout out to Chris Kleiman and his boys. They are undefeated. You didn't know what you were getting after the beatdown of Nicholls State and Bowling Green. Now you know what they could be. They're going to send a lot of looks at you. They're going to play sound defense. They're going to tackle. Kansas State is, I said, going to win at least 7 games this year back in January because I just like Chris Kleiman that much. 4 national championships means he's got more than both Dabo, Swinney, and Nick Saban the past 5 years. Just saying. All right? And behind them, I thought Oklahoma State might have had an opportunity to crack into the top 25. You go into halftime down 21-20 to Tulsa on the road. Then you score 20 straight, and you don't give up any points to a Tulsa team that ain't terrible, but they ain't good either. Zach Smith needs to figure out at quarterback. He needs to get on the same page with those receivers because those receivers are actually where they're supposed to be, and they were open. He just missed them. He just didn't make any throws. Spencer Sanders got exposed. He can't really throw against man coverage. If you want to just try to take away Tylan Wallace and force Chuba Hubbard to beat you, Chuba's going to do that. 32 carries, 256 yards. He's got over 500 yards rushing in 3 games. He's a dark horse for the Heisman. But if Spencer Sanders can't throw any passes this year and he's going to get exposed like this, you're just going to drop down and play man coverage and you're going to go against this 30 stack and, this 30 front, this 3-3-5, and they're just going to try to take away passes from you. It's going to be hard sledding for Oklahoma State. I'm really interested to see what it looks like when they travel to Austin to play Texas. Other teams receiving votes to mention, Army got 50, 1 vote behind Oklahoma State. They are undefeated. Michigan State still got votes in the loss to Arizona State. Memphis got 26 votes. They're undefeated. They beat Alabama like they stole something. Brigham Young, overtime to beat a ranked USC team. They still got the loss to Utah, you understand. Appalachian State is a juggernaut. Also in the group of 6 Sun Belt. They're probably going to run away with the championship. All right, those are takeaways for me. All right. That's